Okay, so I'm just enjoying some jelly beans and leftover Easter candy. For some reason, this year we had a lot of like leftover. Fine, more for me? Sorry, I'm trying to dig out the Starburst jelly beans because they're just some of my favorite Easter candy. As well as Cadbury eggs. Also got my coffee. Okay, sorry, just gonna talk when my mouth is empty. Pretty polite thing to do, actually. Anyway, so just getting some sugar and some caffeine before I shoot this video, because this is a video that I've actually been thinking about for quite a little while, because people have asked me, and they also asked other women in the Bruderhof about feminism. And so that's what I'm going to be talking a bit about today. But I should warn you that I actually don't know that much about feminism as like an intellectual movement, and I'm not really sure what second wave feminism is and so on. I haven't talked about it that much since college. College was a couple years ago. Too much scrolling. I don't have time. But sorry, back to feminism. I do know that huge strides have been made over the past century to make women's lives better, both with changes in society and legal changes to protect women and afford them more equal treatment. And of course, I applaud those things. I actually think we could do a little more to make women's lives better. But I'll get to that. Anyway, so I agree with the whole idea of making sure that women have equal opportunities to men, because I believe that God created each person, woman and man, in his image. But so often it seems that self-proclaimed feminists work toward this goal of equality, but they end up making the gap between men and women wider instead of smaller. For instance, I've read about militant feminism and their attempts to create man-free spaces and so on. And while I can understand that women who've been hurt and who are vulnerable definitely need places that are safe, I think in general it's a mistake to approach the relationship between men and women in a spirit of hostility or resentment. And I know from my own life here at the Bruderhof that it's possible to come at this differently. Within my own experience, I can see that there is another way. For starters, I think it would help a lot if we all simply acknowledge the fact that women are different from men. We have different bodies, different strengths, different weaknesses. And that's just how God created it. And I've heard this comparison to a prism where you can see, I have a prism on my windowsill. The sun isn't shining, so it's not sending rainbows around the room. But, but when the light shines through the prism, you can see different colors of the spectrum, and it's the same with men and women, where you can see the diverse reflection of God's image, which is a very beautiful thing. But back to feminism, I just will say what I think. I think that the goal of feminists should be working for environments of mutual respect and working to build up places where women and men work with each other instead of competing against one another, and where their contributions are measured equally and also valued equally, which is very important. Here at the Bruderhof, we refer to each other as brothers and sisters, like we're a church family. In my biological family, I have 3 brothers and 3 sisters who I love very dearly. I might love my brothers for different reasons than I love my sisters, but I don't love them any less or any more. And together as a family, we complement each other with our different strengths and our different weaknesses. Anyway, it's the same in our community, where each brother and sister is valued for who they are, and I guess not for what they are. Now, I know that this idea of men and women having different but complementary roles to play kind of gets like a bad rap because people see it as like a clever theological trick to keep women in the kitchen. But I don't think it is. And I'll tell you why based on what I see in my community and whatever my experience here. So, number one, I should say for anyone who hasn't visited here, that in a lot of work departments, men and women work alongside each other as members of a team, whether, teaching in one of our schools. Here at the Mount community, we have high school, working in an office, the workshop floor, so on. And that can provide some like really fun and dynamic work experiences. But it is also true that women on the Bruderhof do more cooking and cleaning than men. And it's something that I am absolutely okay with because no one, men or women, feels like their particular job gives them prestige. And of course, there's no wage discrimination because we all get the same salary, which is 0. I just love saying that. Anyway, women also work in all kinds of like professional capacities. I know I've said this before in some of my other videos, but like some of our doctors, for instance, our doctor here at the Mount community is a woman, a good friend of mine, and the lawyers and so on. Some of them are women, and architects, anyway, dentists. I can think of other examples. Anyway, men do these jobs too, and they also do some jobs that women generally don't, like heavy construction, for example. I'm trying to think of other examples, and I can't. Anyway, the men also do plenty of domestic work as well, like washing dishes after communal meal times, as well as taking on jobs that I'm really glad I don't have to deal with, like home repairs. Although some home repairs are actually really fun. But plumbing emergencies and fixing the heating when it goes out in the middle of the night in the middle of winter, I'm good. I don't need that. Anyway, I guess we could set up things so that there were equal numbers of men and women in each work department. Yeah, we could do that. And if there was a good reason for a particular person to do a particular job, they could certainly do that. But on the other hand, since, like I said before, we're all brothers and sisters and no one is competing for prestige or trying to climb the career ladder, and there's no glass ceiling here, there's no need for bickering over whose job is more important. So, in fact, I think that the lack of bickering and competition creates a more wholesome working environment where more work and higher quality work is accomplished. And it's also a lot more fun. It's less about who does what and more about the satisfaction of working together as a team. And the team thing is it's kind of like the whole point of my video. So the same goes for home here. In our house, Chris and I share the tasks of taking care of our boys and keeping the house clean and cared for, dealing with the laundry, picking up food and household supplies, whatever, we do it together. When we were first married, we did not come up with a list of what he will do and what she will do. It just doesn't work like that. It's much too stressful. But like, for example, today, Chris got the boys up, got them ready for the day, and I made breakfast. I fried up some crepes, and they were delicious, I may add. And then when Branson got ready, when he was ready for the day, he came out and helped me. And then after breakfast, Chris did the dishes, and then I got the kids ready for the day. Anyway, and then like in the evenings, after we come home, Chris does this really fun thing with the boys before bedtime where they make this really fun game of cleaning up all the toys. I'm trying to think of some other examples. Chris does enjoy cooking, but to be totally honest, I'm a little bit selfish. I like to do all the cooking. I should probably let him cook a little bit more, and he's a good cook, so. Anyway, we are like a 2-person team, and at least that's our goal. And I know that sometimes it may feel like one or the other of us is getting like the lion's share of the work. But eventually it definitely just all evens out. And this idea of teamwork, which we try to do here, is sometimes where I think that feminists kind of get it wrong. Like, instead of totally cutting men out of the picture and thinking we can do it better without them, I think we actually need to join forces. I think we're all painfully aware that our society is broken in so many ways and in desperate need of healing. And if feminists want to be part of that healing, and I'm sure they all do, because I think all of us want to be a part of the healing, then actually I think we need to work together with men and not against them, and see each other as equal partners working toward the same goal. I don't know if that makes sense. I feel like my thoughts were kind of jumbled today, and there was this fly that was distracting me the entire time. So annoying. Anyway, I guess that's also part of it. Don't get distracted by the small things. Anyway, oh my goodness, I just suddenly had I remember one thing I want to show you. So I have this book here. It's kind of funny because I'm still planning to read some stories out loud at some point on my channel. I just haven't gotten organized enough to do it. Anyway, one of the books here is Harvey's Hideout. It's kind of funny because this is sort of the whole sort of plot of this book is exactly that. Like the girl in this family, I think, let's see what they are. Muskrats. I think they're muskrats. Anyway, yeah, Harvey Muskrat. So long story short, the girl muskrat, she has these pretend friends, girls that she goes and pretends to be with, and have a tea party with them, and the boy pretends to have a little hideout with the pretend friends. Anyway, and then they actually find out that they actually need each other, and they have fun playing together, brother and sister. Anyway, I will read this book at some point. It's a very good book. If you would like to have a sneak peek before I actually read it out loud to you, you can go to Plow and order your own copy, because it's a very good book. Anyway, so I will see you all next time, and it is Mother's Day on Sunday, so don't forget to wish your mother a happy Mother's Day. Bye.